Good morning, I'm Teacher Rose, and welcome to our Homeroom Guidance Quarter 1, Module 3, entitled Thinking Aloud My Decisions. Decision making is a key concept in your development. You can be reflective or impulsive in doing it. Thus, you tend to make well thought out or rash decisions without considering first its implications. In the process of decision making, it is important that your values are intact and that it should not be compromised. As we enter the new normal, most of you are filling empty periods on a daily basis using mobile communication, text messaging, and chat site in expanded personal and virtual networks. The pandemic you are in may affect your character to cope with the situations. In these trying times, you have to follow the given protocols and ethical standards that make us dignified humans capable of adapting to change and morally upright and thinking and doing. This lesson will help you realize that as a human being, you may be capable to commit right and wrong actions or decisions. It will introduce to you some learning tasks that will help you defeat some tendencies in making right and wrong decisions or becoming indecisive, and on how you can resolve this by carefully considering some factors that may affect your decision. For our learning objectives, these are: number 1, identify the factors that affect the right and wrong actions or decisions. Number 2, recognize the tendencies of every individual to make right and wrong decisions or actions. And number 3, analyze situations that defeat tendencies of making right and wrong decisions or actions. In our previous lesson, you learned how to accept others' individuality. You even formulated your personal policies or guidelines to uphold acceptance and respect of people's differences at all times. In this lesson, you are up to another insightful learning episode. You will delve into the decision-making process. Remember that you are free to choose a course of action from among various alternatives. However, your choice has consequences, and you are responsible for your own actions. You will encounter some factors that may affect your sound decision making, like past experiences, biases, current situation or setup, and individual differences. Read the story of Anton, a senior high school graduate, and after reading his story, answer the processing questions below. Here are the processing questions. Number 1, did you experience spending more time to make a decision that greatly affects you or your future, just like Anton? You can share your experience. Number 2, if you are in his situation, what would be your next move? And number 3, what should you do so you won't face the same problem as that of Anton? Here is our next activity. Agree or disagree? On a separate sheet of paper, write agree or disagree on the given situations. Read its statement carefully to make sure that it best matches your opinion. And after answering that, you need also to answer the processing questions below. The processing questions are: Number one, what are the factors that you considered in answering? Number two, do your experiences at this time of pandemic change the way you decide on things? In what way? We make countless choices every day. From the very moment we open our eyes in the morning up to the time we'll fall back to our beds, and our choices are neither right nor wrong. According to Stephen J. Hand, author of the book Cultural Psychology, choice is something that is surely valued everywhere. However, the extent to which people value choices and exercise it is influenced by the context we are in. More choices are available to individuals acting alone than to those who are part of interdependent group of people. However, the limits on their choices are likely not experienced as aversive when individuals share the same goals as their group. For example, you choose not to attend the classes because your peers invited you to join them outside the school during class hour, although you are aware of your responsibility in the school. This phenomenon is explained by Rollo May, an American psychologist, who articulated that human beings are inseparable from their environment. A simultaneous relationship exists, and involving three models such as the following: the psychological and physiological, the social environment of the people, and human beings' relationship to their inner nature. According to Ludwig Binswanger, an existentialist psychologist, he explained that humans have complete freedom of choice or free will and are completely responsible for their own existence. There was always the possibility of becoming something new or better because existence changes. How can you correct mistakes from the past? Change your mindset. Change is always a choice. You need to realize that you can control your own behavior and need to make better choices. Things don't just happen. You can take much more effective control of your life through planning. What are the strategies to promote change and foresee the possible wrong decisions and future actions? According to American psychologist Gerald Corey, first thing is to explore what your wants, needs, and perceptions are. Try to recognize, define, and refine how your ways to meet your needs. Second, focus on what you are doing at present and think of your future direction. Take action by changing what you are doing and thinking. Third, make a self-evaluation. It is your responsibility to evaluate your own behavior. Lastly, formulate your action plan. Creating and carrying out your plans enable you to gain more effective control over your life. If your plan does not work, devise a different plan. Your commitment is essential to carry out your plans. We act or decide based on different considerations and factors, most especially if the situations demand a very important decision. We need to carefully assess our choices and calculate the risks that we might face. And here are the factors that affect our decisions. Number one factors that affect our decisions is our environment. The people around us, including the current setup, affect the way we see things. They can influence our beliefs and perception on the consequences of our actions. There are times that we intend to compare how they face a certain problem with the way we face it ourselves. This is something that we need to get away from, as we are all different, including the situations we are in. Number two is our experiences. Our past encounter with people and the results of our decision before mold how we act and decide today. For instance, if you have proven that a certain person should not be trusted with your secrets, then you won't entrust him or her the confidential matters that you have. The same thing if you have a tested action to be effective, like your study habits, which led you to get high grades, then there is a great possibility to replicate such practice. Our experiences, whether good or bad, shape the way we behave nowadays. Number three is our personal characteristics. We should also take into account the function of our culture, attitude, personality, beliefs, abilities, gender, health condition, and other in terms of our way of making a decision. You have to recognize that there are enabling and limiting aspects of your personal characteristics. For instance, in your culture, there may be a stigma on the role of man or woman. It is now up to you whether you want to live up that expectation or not. You may want to look into what science tells about healthy and unhealthy practices. Number four, facts or data. It is a good practice to decide based on the merit of actual facts or data. It will definitely inform you on the exact scenario you are dealing with, and you can calculate how your decisions would impact the situation. For example, you need to decide your curriculum exit. You may check the number of schools where you can pursue whatever course you have planned to have. At the same time, you may look into the data on senior high school graduates who were employed after basic education and those that ventured into business. Last but not the least is our motivation. Our drive to achieve certain things influences our decisions. Sometimes, we need to let go of small things in order to attain greater things. For example, you slip away your opportunity to be with your friends on a Saturday because it's your schedule for college application interview. Your goal to be a college graduate is bigger than your desire to enjoy the company of your friends. So you opted to be at the interview. Your decisions will define the kind of choices you are taking. At the end of the day, you will be the one to face whatever consequences these decisions bring. Hence, your decision-making process is very important. If you are in doubt or confused about your choices, you may want to go to someone who is well-trained to guide and facilitate your decision-making process, like a registered guidance counselor or RGC. If an RGC is not available in your school, you may consider getting the insight of your trusted teachers, parents, or adults. Again, I'm Teacher Rose saying, share love to everybody, be a blessing to everyone. Thank you.